school system. They find their difficulties in doing that. All the more reason not to do it. I am so opposed to taking more open choice Hartford students, I can't tell you how strongly I feel about that. I'll leave it at that.
Mr. Person.
I'd like to agree with Mr. Kemp. I'm not liking the idea of taking more students from the sheer fact that they're dangling that carrot that you take more and more, we'll pay you more. Well, they should pay you the same per student regardless of how many you take, in my opinion. So that's why I would not support taking any more either, and haven't in the past.
I just wanted to put it out there because, you know, 105 times the 6,000 is $630,000, which is roughly what we're sending out of town right now for our magnet school populations. Just wanted to...
It's not an even thing, and I don't care.
No, I just wanted to make sure that folks are aware of the conversation. Other action, Mr. Person.
I just noticed the last line item is a student management system database for $75,000. But we took out our iPass license for $18,332.
Thank you.
So it's not really a $75,000 savings if that's cut. We got to put about 20 grand back in. Just
thank you.
I noticed that. Thank you.
So that'd be 55 rather than...
Yes.
Thank you. Other actions? Mr. Kemp.
I just want to say, if we're at a pause at this point in the existing list, it would be fair to consider untabling the two items that we tabled earlier.
Is that a motion to untable those earlier items?
Well, I don't want to stop anybody from continuing down the list if they choose to do it, but seeing no other hands raised, I'll move to untable the two items that remained in Will's motions.
And is there a second on the table? So a motion to untable. Is there any discussion on that motion to untable? Seeing none, all in favor? Those items are untabled, and we'll take them one at a time as they were originally separated, so we can open for discussion. The motion on PD 360 for $49,000. Is there any dialogue on that? Mrs. Fisher.
Do we have that this year, Dr. Humphrey, and how many teachers are realizing?
Every teacher has to, it's part of the implementation, so every teacher is, we've had a schedule of what they're supposed to do each month and how deeply they're supposed to respond.
I could not support this motion. I mean, I'm upset that we've already cut our coaches, and that was a job embedded in PD, and now you're just taking out more PD, which I think our teachers need.
Other discussion. Mrs. Arndt.
What would the alternative be to those teachers if there was no PD 360? Through you, Mr. Chairman, to Dr. Conway.
Dr. Conway.
Thank you, Mr. Wolf. The going on the internet, Googling, but there wouldn't be videos of teachers teaching. So models, things like that.
Mr. Nicholson.
Pretty sure you go on YouTube and see plenty of videos of teachers teaching.
Discussion. Mr. Kemp.
I am curious, the new statutes that are being implemented at the state regarding professional development that take effect July 1st. Has the staff been able to assess what those new requirements are as it relates to our budget?
I think that, if I may, Mr. Wolf, the sense is that it does need to be job embedded. So you do need to be working in teams with colleagues. It's not sit and get is no longer the way to learn. It was never the way to learn, but we did it all the time. We'd bring 300 teachers in a room and have a presenter and expect a miracle to occur, and it rarely did. So it's really involved using coaching, working with each other, collaborating on a new strategy, observing each other. It's all about doing that and keeping track of your own professional learning plan, what what you're doing, having conversations with your administrator. So it's very intertwined with evaluation, which it should be. And so that it's all a good thing.
Ms. Sorn?
We provide, I'm not going to get it right, 30-something hours through the chair to Dr. Conway, 30-something hours of PD.
I think you told me 36, so I'm
36.
taking your word for it.
So this would mean that, again, it's not, this is what you described. Sit down and there isn't interaction. It's the teacher and the internet and doing professional development. So it would just mean that the teachers would find another resource. I can support that reduction.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, I'll bring that motion to a vote to reduce the PD 360 by $49,000. All in favor, by show of hands. And those opposed? And I will break that tie and go opposed to that as well, because I believe professional development is needed. And I know we spend a lot of time in my job with professional development. Thank you. So that motion fails 4-3. And the final motion there was smart boards. There was 6 smart boards for $22,000 that were not part of the 10 on the list that Dr. Conway provided. Is there discussion on that motion? Mr. Kemp?
Well, we haven't taken action on the 10 smart boards on the list. Would these be inclusive of those 10, or is this added to the...
Should be in addition to the 10.
Yeah, his motion was to take the additional 6 that weren't on this list.
Should be the 16.
It'd be what?
We haven't done it.
But we haven't taken the 10,
Yeah, we did not take the 10 off of that list.
so I'm not sure what the motion is for then.
The way
To
the
say that
motion,
it's additional implies that we've taken the 10 and we haven't.
the motion was that we take the additional 6 that were not part of that 10, and that was the motion to, and it's approximately $22,000.
Oh, 22,000.
So it would be for 6 smart
For
boards?
6 smart.
Okay.
6 smart boards. Are we saying instead of 10?
It has nothing to do with the 10 that are on this list. His motion was
No, I
to
just want to get the sense of what
to
people...
the
can go back to
6
that if you want.
additional, the 6 that were not on the list that he was putting here. There was supposed to be 16, and this said take 10 away.
And I was adding 6 to make 16.
But as it stands
This
now, it's a
motion
single
is
motion
for
to
the
deduct
additional
6.
6. We haven't taken the action on the 10. Is there any additional dialogue questions?
Can I amend it to take the full 16?
If you wish to have the floor, I will give you the floor to make that amendment. If you can get a
Take the
second
full
on that.
16 smart boards.
Do we have a second on the amendment to make it 16? I don't see a seconder, so we're still talking about 6.
We put them back on the table. I didn't have a second on either of those originally, or,
It was,
sorry.
Mr. Nicholson had made the original motion, and Mrs. Arn had seconded it, and then Mrs. Arn moved to divide. That's how my notes say. Good? Thank you. So this is for the 6. If there's no further discussion, I will bring that motion to a vote by show of hands. All in favor?
You didn't have a second.
On the original motion, there was a second. There was no second to amend to 16, so we're talking about 6, unless you're withdrawing that motion. All in favor of reducing by 6 smart boards, $22,000? Show of hands. And that's 3, and those opposed? And that's 3, and I will vote to break the tie to keep the smart boards at this time. The motion fails. All right, Mr. Kersey.
I'd like to direct a few questions through the chair to Mr. Carl. Our rate, our electric rate is getting locked in halfway through next budget season.
Correct.
So in our electrical account, We reduced it by 30,000. Was that a conservative estimate at that point?
Through the chair, that's our projected savings.
It was only 30, I thought it was higher than that.
Depends on utilization,
Of course.
but that's,
On the same type of questions with gas and diesel and so forth, is there anything that has popped up over the past 2 months since we last sat down that we could realize some savings?
through the chair, we have not locked in a rate yet through our consortium.
I'm trying, thanks.
Yep.
If I could just piggyback on that question for a moment and just ask you, has there been any additional risk added to this budget in the last 2 months since we presented this original? Have we seen any changes in special ed that are causing us any more nervousness or maybe other?
Not in the area of special education. We're status quo. I mean, we're already at risk, but
Yeah, well, I know we...
No additional.
No additional.
That's correct.
Just wanted to make sure because we didn't ask that question in the meeting.
Is your input, Mr. Vaccaro, on this list? There isn't anything else that you need?
That's it.
Okay.
Thank you, through the chair.
Can I get a number, a check as to where we're at this point?
I have through the chair, $693,949 cuts, leaving us a balance of $806,051.
693,949?
Correct.
What do we want to do, folks? Mr. Kemp, you have the floor.
I can't do it anymore. I'm not prepared to support taking cuts to technology and any more staff reductions. And I think we desperately need the student management system. Those of us who've been on the committee know that the iPass system is a dog don't hunt. And we've got to spend that $75,000, and I don't want to support. I don't know what to do at this stage. There's nothing I'm going to vote to cut any further.
I would say before we would make any motion to adjourn that we schedule another meeting to continue this process because 700,000 isn't 1.5 million, and that's where we got to get to in order to just be where we're at going to referendum. And that's a job that we have to do. So if we don't wish to continue taking further action tonight, that we want to take other action, I say we have to pick a date for that next meeting and before we adjourn this evening.